All right, guys, here's your watch list. I hope you guys had a wonderful day. What a day in the markets again today. Two green trades for us. Very small on the second one. Nice gain. Forked out about 20% on UAL to the long side. Took the short. My limit order got filled, and I ended up taking. I ended up not getting back in it, but I will be looking in it. We'll cover that. We'll go over the charts on that one. We have more layoffs. We have Netflix earnings. We have Texas Instruments, Intuitive Surgical that we'll cover. We'll cover those three main ones. And then, again, more layoffs that are coming. The one thing I can say about this channel is we are first. Like, we are first with a lot of things. Like, we put ourselves in the right parts of the markets, but we identify key factors in which, again, in my opinion, these factors are of importance. Whether they are or not, only time will tell. But I had a feeling of a few things, whether it was bank term lending program coming to an end, right? Finally getting the information that the Fed says they are not going to continue that program. All right. Well, if you're not going to continue that program and rates are still at 5.5, again, we were watching this trend. And the trend was just screaming to the upside. So it's in my opinion, I'm not a banker, I don't know, but it feels like they were backstopping and just trying to offload as much as they could to give the banks time for them to pull rates back down. Feels like a lot of the dovishness is coming for, I thought, the banks, but now it's unemployment. So what I want to say about that is, if you could and you find this information valuable, hit that like button for me. I urge you to. Hit the subscribe button. We come out with content daily. We trade live Monday through Friday right here, 7:30 to 4. During the lunchtime, midday, I'll be here, but I'll be a little busy. I got some things that I want to get done. But we'll trade the early morning markets. We're going to cover Netflix. We're going to get the levels for that. I'm going to tell you exactly how I've been trading. Or what do I expect from it? How am I going to trade it? If this, then that. All right, we're going to look at semiconductors, kind of. I don't think Texas Instruments is going to be too much of a big deal, but we have Tesla earnings as well tomorrow. All right, so thank you for that. If you could, hit that like button, subscribe. We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers. Come join us. And I want you guys to see when these big players start to report, how do the markets act. Okay, we seen the IWM today. We noticed that the IWM was down, but somewhat recovered, but down on the day. All right, down 0.2%. We go over to the SPY. The SPY was green. Okay, take notice in the rotation, but look at the Dow. All right, the Dow, when I last looked at it, was also down. I thought it had a nice day. I thought it may have been this day right here. It might have been last week. So I made a mistake there, but the Dow finishing and the Dow, the IWM usually are kind of in tandem. It can sway different ways depending on the market and the environment of what's going on. You had some downgrades with Home Depot and Lowe's, some of the brick and mortar shops, so that could have played a role here in the downside with the Dow because Home Depot got hit. I thought about this trade. I was looking at other things, and this was a good opportunity, just didn't really see it at the time. But I will say right now, just looking at this, if we get this bounce back to 354, that is an opportunity that I'm going to take, and I'm writing it down right now. Mark Benioff from CRM, Salesforce, was on CNBC just a little bit ago. I wasn't really able to pay attention to it, but I wish I would have because he had mentioned quite a few things. Just in a variety of AI, okay? So let's go over the news. We'll cover the markets. We'll cover the levels. Again, two green trades today one green trade, one break even, just a pretty much paid commissions was my loss on that second trade. Again, this was a limit order that I had out. And I can't remember off the top of my head, like if I was doing something, I think I may have been scanning the markets. I'm not sure, but that fill got hit. I think it was an entry of like 53 or 73 cents, limit ordered at like 72. to try and, kind of work this order to bring the markets to where I wanted in my direction. But all good, right? My number got bigger today. That's our job, guys. Remember, we have one job. That job is to take the number that we have in front of us and make it bigger. That's it. It doesn't matter how you do it. Doesn't matter how big. You're going to have your days, but make that number bigger. That's your job. That's it. You have a number, make it bigger. Plain and simple. Anything other than that, you're just making things complicated. I hope you guys had a wonderful day. I want to start off by saying be thankful that we're here. I recorded this from the World Trade Towers. Send a prayer out for the friends and the families of the 2 Marines that got lost aboard. If you don't know, last week, I think it was last Friday, there were 2 Navy SEALs. One of the individuals, supposedly, they got hit with a wave. He fell off the ladder. The other person jumped in after him, and they both have been, I guess, declared deceased as of yesterday, I think. So, in memory of them, be thankful, okay? They give their lives just, not knowing that they weren't going to come home that night. Okay, so if you didn't hear about that story, send your prayers to the friends and family of those 2 individuals. It's sad. So it makes you, and I also want to say, because the compound, Josh Brown and I forget his name offhand right now, they had talked about understanding the opportunity that we all have in the United States of America. That is being able to not only purchase the best companies in the world, where some countries cannot. Okay, some countries don't have that opportunity. Not only do they not have the opportunity, they may not be allowed to. In some cases, they're not allowed to. And second, they don't have liquid markets, or they don't have enough money to get in with venture capitalists. So be thankful. You have opportunity to be able to buy the best companies in the world at any given time, literally on your phone. So be thankful for that. Sometimes it's really easy to look past those kind of things. All right, so let's get right into it. I was trying to figure out what we were going to do first, but I'll just pull up. Let's go through the news real quick, all right, and my thoughts. So I have already covered this one, but guys, when Netflix reports, look at after hours at the S&Ps. Look how they rallied, right? We had pretty much a flat day awaiting Netflix earnings. We actually went green, and we are continuing to the upside. This is what I mean. So we had regional banks today. There were quite a few small regional banks. If we go to the IWM, how did the IWM react to those bank earnings? All right. Picked up, it actually is right now flat, but somewhat above the closing price. So there was a bit of a recovery there. Now, does that have to do with the SPY and the Dow, the Qs, maybe just as the overall markets? That's also what you want to see. You don't want to see that divergence. The SPY, the Qs, and the Dow are working up, and the IWM is trending down. That's not a safe environment that you need to keep your eyes on. If you guys don't know, also, other than liking, subscribing, showing some love, RSP. If you guys don't watch RSP, the equally weighted S&Ps, this is also another thing that I use to see where, as the environment of the markets. Okay, now you can kind of get an idea if you scan through the markets on just like a whole list, like a 10 stock list of the overall markets. You can kind of see how the overall market's doing, but we have not broken out just yet, and we're actually in a downtrend for the most part. We are still not above this previous high, but that doesn't mean that we're going to be coming down. Okay, again, this is your RSP equally weighted S&P. So for the most part today, it was a pretty green day in the markets. All right, this has been a pretty nice recovery for now. Just pretty much even energy to tech. Looks like the worst was in the healthcare space, even though we'll see how, you had a little bit, see what I mean? Like these regionals, okay, that may have had to do with earnings, and you can see why the IWM is a bit down because of regional banks. So let's go through the news. Let's knock this out. We'll go over through some levels and give you guys my trade ideas for tomorrow. I have all the levels here written down, and we'll cover a few extra. And if you guys have questions, let me know. If it's your first time here, welcome. Introduce yourself. say hello. If you have a question for me, just let me know if you're here. If you're new, if there's anything I can change as far as the content and all that fun stuff, be greatly appreciated to get some feedback. All right. We already went through this. Pay attention to the markets as far as the Dow, the SPY, the Qs, IWM, ARK. ARK will be your innovation. And how are they reacting to earnings, okay? We went through that. All right, and we went through being thankful and remembering the lives that are out there protecting us to keep us safe from whatever may come our way, all right? And just being able to get things like goods, food, clothes, material things, TVs and dresser drawers and all that fun stuff that passes through the Red Sea, right? Metals, right? Anybody wanting to buy a new vehicle, think about the men and women that are out there getting a safe passage for that, for the goods. All right. For right now, Boeing, we got some more news on that. JP Morgan, I'm watching JP Morgan because this has been a nice stock that's been paying. As far as giving, I don't want to say paying. It's been giving us volatility, okay? I gave you guys an idea yesterday that I wanted to go long JP Morgan off a level. We'll recover that. I never got to it because I traded UAL, United Airlines. I told you guys I was going to be trading these airlines. Save, Tesla. We'll talk about DWAC as well. I'll write that down right here so I do not forget it. All right. And we'll cover that. So Netflix. Let's talk about Netflix. They added 13.1 million subscribers just in the fourth quarter. That was the biggest fourth quarter ever for new subscribers. Guys, I was just curious how they were going to do because of holidays, right? How many people are actually watching Netflix as opposed to the people that are out shopping, Thanksgiving, cooking, cleaning, all that fun stuff, doing things together. But guess what? It was the quite opposite of that, of what I thought that they would report. Again, they are worldwide. Remember, a lot of these companies that trade on the S&Ps and in the markets, they don't do business here, okay? They do business everywhere, like the whole world, and the majority of their business is the world. We make up a small piece of that. So keep that in mind. And when you start seeing things that are happening around the world, it's going to play a part. When we had these 4X issues, everybody's out here screaming about the dollar's being weak. The dollar's been strong as hell. I don't like to cuss on here, but the dollar's been strong. And that means when they convert those dollars to US dollars, they bring in less, okay? So as our currency is below, let's just say, Deutschmarks, right? German Deutschmarks. Whatever they sell in Germany, they're able to bring in more US dollars on the conversion, because if the Deutschmarks are stronger than the US dollar, when they revert it back over, that is more US dollars it takes for Deutschmarks, okay? So on and so forth. All right. 13.1 million subscribers in the fourth quarter. Biggest fourth quarter in net additions ever. They said that they want to broaden the entertainment by bringing on live streams, sports, and games. Year-end subs were 260.28, I guess million. Yes, I forgot the M. That was subscribers was 260.2, up 13% year over year. They brought in a net revenue, or revenue was of $8.83 billion. Was their revenue. $2.11 earnings per share. Net income was a $937.8 million this quarter. First quarter guidance. Okay, guidance for next quarter for this upcoming 3 months. All right, $1.9 billion in revenue. All right. Let's see here. It's either, because there wasn't on there, it's either, it's net revenue. So earnings per share, $4.49 to $4.10. So if we go back and we see that their EPS now is $2.11 earnings per share, and they're expecting to double that, keep an eye on that, guys, because if that's going to be important. So they're guiding for 4.5, we'll say, versus a 4.10 estimate. Or is this what they... Yeah, no. This is definitely Q1. So we'll see what happens there. Let me make sure I'm still on Netflix. Yes, I am. I'll have to redo all this. I thought, I tried to make this the first, what they reported and then the guidance. I did it for all of them. So yes, I know I'm correct, but it just sounds crazy, right? They're going to give guidance of 4.5 for the first quarter. All right, maybe they see something we don't. I don't know. So revenue 9.2 versus this previous 8.8. So they're expecting to bring in an extra, what is that? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, an extra 400 and some odd million dollars. This quarter on top of what they bring in. So they're expecting an extra close to $4.5 million, $450 million, 420, whatever it comes out to. So revenue for first quarter guidance 9.2 versus a 9.3 estimate. So increasing fiscal year 2024 operating margin forecast to 24%. Key levels 530, 550. I've been telling you guys that all week. I gave you guys the upside, the downside, and we'll cover that real quick. Let's go over here to Netflix NFLX. All right, you can see here. We'll go to. You can see here how we broke out to highs. Now it's not back up here on the time and sales. Because I went to another stock. But 500 is going to be your support level. Now, here are my thoughts with Netflix, okay? My thoughts are, how do whether it's Disney, other streaming platforms, or just the market as a whole, right? We could still have companies not do so well or start to guide down. So what I'm going to do as of tomorrow to trade Netflix, I will more than likely be trading Netflix because I know the volatility is going to be there. The volume's going to be there. But I'm going to keep these intraday levels, see where we open at. And I'm going to use these intraday levels here, okay, as an intraday trade to 550. All right. Second, if we get to 550, all right, we get to 550 this week or next week, how do we draw ourselves back to 500? I presume we will. Okay, but what will cause that? Is it Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon, Google not faring well? What could help bring Netflix back down to these levels and then look for the upside? Maybe it doesn't, and maybe we have to just wait for that pullback. Maybe there's a bit of profit taking up here. I mean, you can't, if you have owned this name, especially from when it just got toasted, right? This thing got smoked. Think about what you're up right now. I don't care if you bought 10 shares. Think about what you're up right now. This thing, you almost got a 10 bagger for the most part. All right, this thing was $1.60. We're gonna call it 200. All right, so you've more than doubled your money on a streaming platform. They're not selling phones and cloud service and security and all the tech things that really bring in good margins. Got to give it up to Netflix and the CEOs, guys. This is why when you guys own companies, make sure the CEOs have already proven themselves. All right, because this is a whole different ball game from running a $500 million company with maybe 1,000 to 2,000 employees versus running a company with 100,000 employees, 50,000 employees. Okay, it's a whole different ball game. So the CEOs it's a very important key role into finding these next winners, right? Okay, and you guys, I always say too is like when you guys are finding stuff like this is, these are the best companies, you got to own them. Well, I'm not telling you what to do again. Disclaimer, trading is risky. You can and will lose all your money. Do not trade what you see here on this live stream. I am not liable for it. The disclaimer is down below. Seek financial advice from a financial advisor. Anyway, so what I was getting to is like Apple, Google, Amazon, right? A lot of people think like, yes, I'm going to own them. Good, you should. They're safe companies for the most part, okay? But do you think that they're going to go from 4 trillion to 8 trillion? Like, the growth has already been growthed, if you feel me, okay? If you're picking up what I'm putting down. You want to find those next up-and-coming big winners, okay? You're not going to know offhand, but if you know the CEOs, Mark Benioff, CRM, like, you'll start to know these CEOs and whatnot, but you want to find those, right? Snowflake's, one that I like. There's a couple out there that I like. We'll go into that a whole nother live stream. But some of these companies like Amazon and stuff, they've pretty much taken over the world already. Like there's not much more that they can do. You know, now it's like maintaining that expectation of where they're at, right? It's like, can Amazon grow as much as they've grown since 1990 to now and do it again from where they are now? It's probably highly unlikely. There's probably not even enough people to do that, right? There's probably not enough. Now, again, that doesn't mean that their stock can't go up, but again, you know, a lot of these companies are the big boys, and it's just about, you know, consistency at this point in the game where these guys are at. You know, it's going to be like for instance, the big winners, AMD, Nvidia, really Nvidia, okay? Nvidia was your next Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, right? The seven, I don't know, Fang. I'm just going to use Fang, right? The next Teslas and stuff. So got to look for those. Nvidia, that's obviously already happened. So understanding sentiment and stuff, and just owning. Again, I'm just going to go back to just owning. Okay, own the best companies in the world. You have an opportunity right from your phone to just own them, right? Not even about saving money. Okay, own these companies and take it with you for the rest of your life. Grow your net worth. It opens up so much opportunity for you, whether you want to borrow against it. Okay, there's just a lot of things that you can do. All right, anyway, let me not get off track. I do apologize. I'm trying to make this quick. I know it sounds like I'm talking fast because I'm talking fast for a reason, because these videos have been 2 hours long. Let's keep it going so we can run into charts. ISRG, $1.60 a share, adjusted earnings per share, that is, versus an estimate of $1.48. That's a beat of 30%. All right, just under $2 billion this quarter versus an estimate of $1.87 billion in sales worldwide. Vinci procedures increased approximately 22% year over year. Net income $606 million. Key levels 375, 377. It's off, like trying to make highs. ISRG, I think it is ISRG. So excuse me, I'm sorry. Is this live? Sorry, I have Bloomberg on. So yes, it did go to highs. It did make a new high. I'm not sure. I have never traded this. I have never traded it. I've heard of it. I don't even own this. I don't own this name. I kind of wish I did. But it is what it is. There's a lot of them out there, and if they continue with this, you know, we get a chance to get a pullback. I would like to own this name. So this is why it's kind of good in a sense, you know, if the market pulls back. And that's what I want to talk about. How are the markets? We're having these labor markets that we're going to get into. The labor market is going to be in trouble. So that's ISRG. We talked about the key levels, 377, 375, 377 was the high. Like those highs are the resistance area, roughly pre-market. Let me go to this. I'm messing the stream up already. Again, if you guys have questions, type questions in the chat. If you have any tickers that you want to go over, if you could do us a solid, it would help someone else find this stream. If you guys learn anything, just hit that like button, subscribe. It is greatly appreciated. It goes a long way. So ISRG, you know, I'm going to be using these. If I don't plan on trading ISRG unless something happens when we wake up that it grabs my attention. Okay. All right. So that's ISRG. You know, the levels are here. So this main support, if I were to get long this name, I need a pullback to 375 area. I need a pullback. Okay. I don't think that their earnings was enough to justify this thing just lifting off from here and saying goodbye. So I think you get that pullback. All right, they had good earnings, but I still think that, like, to an exception, they weren't, like, crazy beatable like Netflix, right? Reporting the best ever fourth quarter, raising guidance and all this other stuff going forward. All right, so, and then Texas Instruments, I think, is the next one. TXN, we'll pull that up. This one I may look at to trade, okay, especially if we start to break 165. But if we get a bounce to 170, I will be short Texas Instrument. I'm going to tell you that right now. If we get up to 170, I will take my shot. I will shoot my shot up at 170 to 173. No, 172. So it's this whole area you got to watch for, okay? Right about there. So that whole area, all right? That's the area I want to look for If we start to get up here on a decent volume and in the manner that I see, again, this is all speculation for right now because it's not tomorrow. I can't tell you where we're going to open up, how we're going to open up, and all that fun stuff. So what I am looking forward to, though, is if we do not get this bounce back, right, and a rejection off 170, you may revisit, right? You may revisit the 174. That's a key area, right? That's a nice area to get short. But again, if the semiconductors are going to be strong, you got to watch for Texas Instrument to just naturally grasp that strength through NVIDIA, Intel, IBM, right? All those other companies, and it will just lag, right? If they're all going up, they'll just lag. And if they all start to, because they haven't reported yet, if they report and do great, and it's just Texas Instrument, which I think it's been this past 6 quarters, guys. It's just been a letdown, unfortunately. You know, solid American company. You guys probably remember, if you're ever in public schools or private schools, Texas Instruments, they're calculators, right? So, widely used when I was growing up. They haven't been faring too well recently. So that's Texas Instrument. I'm looking for like an idea, okay? The ideal trade for me would be a break of 166, right? It breaks it, we gap down, right? We wake up with a gap down. I want to look for the bounce in the 166. I'm going to get short, take that down to the 50-day. When we get about going into the 50-day, I would be taking some off there to see if we can break the 50-day. I don't think it will break that 50-day, though. All right, there's a lot of strength in semiconductors. I just don't think it's going to break this level of 161 just yet. All right, just yet, okay? So that's Texas Instruments. We'll talk about all this again tomorrow. We trade live right here on this channel. Come join us, all right? We come up with our pre-market game plan. I will be up early. I did not get, like the past 2 nights, I haven't gotten a lot of sleep because I've just been doing a lot, and for some reason, I feel like everything takes me forever. So I'm trying to work on that. What are you working on yourself, guys? There's always something that we can all work on, all right? I'm not trying. We're not going to be perfect, but, you know, we can always work on something. So that's Texas Instruments, all right? Microsoft Word, okay. Here was their earnings. Q4 net $1.37 billion. Q4 EPS at $1.49, 30% decrease from $2.13 a share this time last year. Quarterly sales $4.08 miss. Analyst consensus estimate of $4. Oh no, I didn't. I forgot the B, I guess, there, because I estimate of $4. No, I didn't. So $12 billion by 1.4% decrease. And hold on, oh, that's what it is. Quarterly sales. I don't know what happened here. Why my keyboard has been acting funny, like it hasn't typed stuff. I noticed on Twitter, it would like stop typing for some reason. It would not connect. So I have to look here to see what's going on there. But let's see here. Quarterly sales of $4.08. That doesn't make any sense because their EPS was $1.50. So this has got to be quarterly sales of $4.8 billion was a miss because the estimate was $4.12 billion. So that's a miss by 4.1%. So that's my fault for getting the B and not putting a sentence there or something. Maybe I even did it and it just did not put it. So that's a 12% decrease, guys. 12% decrease. Guidance for the first quarter. Revenue, 3.45 to 3.75 billion. Okay, so that's right around that $3.5 billion they're expecting for this first quarter's revenue. Earnings per share is 96 cents to $1.16. That's pretty wide. Sounds like there's a bit of uncertainty there with Taiwan. And I keep wanting to say Taiwan Semiconductors, Texas Instruments. So it sounds like there's a lot of sounds like they kind of have an idea of their revenue, okay, or sales, I should say. But as far as EPS, it feels like they don't know what they're going to spend. You know, they don't know what they're going to spend as far as capital expenditures. And, you know, maybe it's the issue with the Red Sea. Maybe they don't know how the issue in the Red Sea is going to, you know, maybe all their plastic and parts and the material that they receive goes through there. So maybe they have to pay more. Shipping rates have been going up or were going up. All right, major level, 200-day moving average. Okay, right here. You see this? This is where we are right now. We're sitting on it. All right, so we're sitting on this. So watch this. This was the trade I meant to tell you guys because it didn't show up here on this. So I got to make it wider. Yeah, I gotta fix this. All right, so it's sitting on the 200-day moving average, and that gray box is blocking it. I'm gonna leave it for now, and I'll fix it in the morning. So the 200-day, as you can see, it's sitting right on the 200-day. So if we crack that 200-day, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a break of the 200, right? Maybe we find support right here, something like this. Okay, this is what I'm gonna look for. We crack the 200-day. Maybe we jump up, right? Maybe we hit this 167. We pull it back to like, where is, it's not going to show me where it's at. We come down here. We kind of hit it. And then bang. We start working our way to that 50-day moving average right here down at 160. All right. That's what I'm going to be watching for Texas Instruments. Just to keep it simple. Okay. Keeping it simple there. Remove trend line. Okay, so keeping it moving. Market news. So eBay cutting around 1,000 jobs. That's about 9% of the workforce. So as we stand right now, just a few companies we've gotten, that's already over initial jobless claims. Okay, we're pretty much at initial jobless claims. So this stuff again can take a year. It could take 10 months. 6 months. We don't know. This is a gradual thing, but we're seeing it right now. First, it's just been this week. Like we had our first round like a year ago ish, 8 months ago ish, and now it's like it feels like it's just like full fledged. So First Horizon is doing a 650 million share repurchase. You can keep an eye on First Horizon there for a repurchase of shares. That's sometimes that can be good. Not sometimes, all the time. That means they believe in their company, and as the company can buy into themselves and collect those profits. So they're going to buy stock back. Boeing, the CEO is going to meet with senators tomorrow. Today's Tuesday, so yes, on Wednesday. It starts tomorrow. We'll actually have this coverage live, so we can watch Boeing real time with these senators. If I'm pretty sure it's going to be on, it'll be live. There'll be live coverage. We shouldn't have a problem finding it. So the CEO is meeting with senators over the 737 MAX 9 issues on Wednesday. Also, Boeing is going to pause production of the 737 for a day to cover quality assurance. Okay, there will be pauses nationwide for the next few weeks. It's only a day, right? Maybe it's every other day, but I guess they're as a whole company, they're all saying like, all right, we're not going back to the drawing board, but like quality. Like, how do we continue to check everything? I mean, and the production places, they can only check so much as a production part, right? They send it out, but it's up to the maintaining of these planes is where the real stuff goes, I know there's a Boeing right next to the airport by me. So that's that for the market news, guys. All right, let's go over some stocks. Let's go over the trade of the day real quick. Small trade, nothing to write home about, 20%er. UAL. I'm pretty sure I put a circle here for us. Let me see here. Let me go to this. Let me go to the flexible grid. All right, so this thing was awesome. All right, this thing was awesome. Where's our circle? Right there. All right, that's where we took profits. All right, that's where we took profits. All right, so UAL. This is crazy, right? 369. I collected 20% just on that little move right there. So I went through a lesson today. All right. It was pertaining to scalping, but I didn't mention the word scalping at all. Okay? Because I am not, I don't identify myself as a scalper. I find setups, I write them down, and I take them and I'll let them go to targets, but there's times when maybe I forget that I have it on my watch list, and I wake up, some other news is out, so I watch that. I want to start being better at kind of just being on it. And this was my goal this week, right? Was to build up some confidence, take it in, because like to me, the week is starting tomorrow. All right, we've had opportunity this week. Don't get me wrong. This is 2 days in a row this week. So this month of January has been strong, guys. Strong. First week, green, couple over 100, triple-digit gains, over 100% gain the first week, 2 of them. The second week, break even, triple digits gains given out. I think I took one of them. It was Apple and SPY. I think the SPY I took out 75, 80%. But and then green so far this week. I want to continue this. As like I said last night, I want to look for another triple digit, baby. I want another triple digit because the volatility's here and it's offering it. So I want to take it while it's here. Getting my confidence up. And while my confidence is here, now what I'm doing is while the markets are moving, I'm going to put my foot on the pedal, all right? But then I'm going to start to slowly take it off. I mean, it feels like I'm actually like pushing the pedal down because we're coming into the harder earnings. We still have Tesla, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, all right? All these other huge companies that are going to be reporting, all right? So the pedal is starting to get down to the floor. All right, and then we back off, right? Then we back off. You can't expect the markets to just continue to move. You got to let them breathe a little bit. So keep that in mind. We'll talk about SAVE. We'll talk about DWAC real quick because I did get questions about SAVE, and I want you guys to know something. It's good to have people that talk short on the stock. Let them get short. That's the only way this thing's going to get higher. I took a long here, okay? I took this long for a few different reasons. I was watching Coinbase this morning. Coinbase, I did not get the entry, so I did not take it. It was not a setup, like it wasn't a day to be trading Coinbase because it didn't hardly move. So I have to look at my timestamp. It may have been this move, guys. It may have been this move. I don't think it was, though. I can't remember. I have to go back timestamp, but I circled this. No, I circled this. All right, I circled this today, and members know in chat, everybody that was in chat, you guys were with me. We took this long. I took it for 20% gain, got out of that, and then I went short. I went short this name. I felt like I wasn't getting the momentum, and I was not giving this back. I wasn't giving that 20% back. Not that I would have. It's just, I didn't want to have a position open tomorrow, and I just got... oh, that's right. That's why. I got out of it because the limit order got hit. I'm sorry. I forgot. I'm sitting here like wondering myself as I'm talking to you why I got out of the trade. My limit order got hit. I was looking at other things because I was trying to come up with like kind of a game plan going into tomorrow, right? Looking at the IWM, like kind of just the overall markets. What's like how are financials doing? Healthcare, tech. Right, defensive, consumer staples, consumer discretionary, and just oil, energy, gold. So that was the 2 trades of the day. All right, 2 trades, 20%. Yeah, the loss, I pretty much paid commissions and $1 a contract. That's how that was. I think it was an entry of 70. It was like 53 or 73 cents, and I got out for 72. I want to say it was 73 on that short. But yeah, so that's that. All right, that was UAL. That was the trade. This would have been a beautiful trade. And what I was going to say real quick is that those trades that I was on, the reason I was able to get 20% out of this is understanding the contract and the Greeks understanding that the delta is very high. The delta was as much as the contract. So that means if I have a contract that's 50 cents and I have a 50-cent delta, if I get $1 move on that 50 cents, I'm getting 50 cents on $1. So if I go 50 cents, I'm getting 25 cents, right? I'm getting 25 bucks a contract for every 50 cents that stock moves, right? So, it was a little, it's not that it's volatile. The contract isn't so volatile because it's a non-volatile stock, but it pays. So this is the stuff that I don't talk about too much because I don't have the time. It's not that I don't have the time. It's like because I'm creating something right now that I can put all this stuff out. Some of you guys don't know that, right? If I have a delta of 50 and a contract's 50, I know every dollar I'm going to get 50 cents on the dollar. I know every 50 cents on that dollar, I'm getting paid 25 cents. Right? So sometimes, guys, you guys don't even know this. Have you guys been told this one? I want to know. Comment down below, please. Do you know the last 15 minutes in the market, you can get a delta that's like, I've seen double the contract price. So if you're paying 10 cents a contract, right, and that delta's 20, what do you think you're going to get for every 25 cents? What do you think you're going to get every 10 cents? So if you have a contract that you pay 10 cents for, and it's got a 20 delta on it, okay? And you go $1, you're making 30 bucks. All right? You're going to make 20 profit plus the 10 you have in. Right? You have 10 cents, it moves $1. You're making 30 bucks. Well, you're going to make 20. I'm sorry. You're going to make 20, but you got your 10 that you put in. So if it moves 50 cents, you've already made 100% on a 50-cent move on $1. That's what I'm getting at. That's how you scalp. Like, people don't teach that kind of stuff. Like, because people just like think that they can scalp or do different things, but there's certain times, there's certain ways, right? Like when earnings are around, they just report earnings. The volatility is high. The delta is high. So I know if I'm in a 50-cent delta and this thing goes 25 cents, okay, I'm making, what is that? 25 cents a share. Or if I have a 50 delta, I've already explained it. You guys know what I'm talking about. If you don't, reach out, comment down below. I'll try to make a video, or I'll try to help you understand what it is that I'm talking about. Because what it is, it's leverage, okay? I have a contract that if it moves a little bit, I either lose or I win. But with technical analysis added on top, with a dwindled position size for knowing that, because there's a lot of people that probably don't even know that went and traded, and they don't even understand what's going on, and they're losing so much because they didn't get the technical analysis right, and they don't understand what's actually going on under that option, and they're just getting screwed. Okay, so it's important to get the education, guys, and that's what I'm here for. Take a look at those. Take a look at your deltas. Okay, it's important. It's important. That delta is going to help save you money if you learn how to use it. The delta is what you should be using to understand, for the most part, what you're going to make, what you're going to lose, what you're going to make every dollar, what you're going to lose every dollar, every hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 2 days, 3 days, all that fun stuff. I love you guys. Let's get into it. Like, share, subscribe. That piece of information I just gave you, people pay thousands of dollars for that. I promise. All right? I promise. They do. They do. It is a piece of information that if you know what to do with it and you understand. Again, I can only do so much on a live stream when I'm trying to go through charts and stuff like that. But I'm creating the product, don't you worry. Because you guys are going to be able to get something that is going to help you and take with you for the rest of your life. A tangible item that you have to help back you up, and a roadmap to trading these markets. Bitcoin, or let me just rephrase that, crypto, Forex, all right? A chart is a chart. Gamma is gamma, okay? It doesn't matter. All right, let's do it, guys. So that was UAL. That was the trade of the day. All right, 20% on that at a pretty much flat paid commissions on the downside to that. All right, so let's get into it. Do you guys have any stocks that you guys would like me to look at? I covered Home Depot, guys. So Home Depot had a downgrade. All right, I just told you guys that if we get this bounce back to 353, I'm not saying that 353 is going to be the area that I take it, but I will promise that, yes, I will actually. That is a beautiful setup right here. And then, excuse me, I'm sorry, we don't have nothing really in the way. This is an area right here where I would take profits on Home Depot, but I may not be trading it because I'm going to be looking elsewhere. All right, so we went through Netflix, we went through all the earnings. All right, JP Morgan, that's been a hot one. Boeing, with him going to the CEO going to the Senators, I will be watching Boeing. All right, I told you guys yesterday that I was thinking about the long off on JP Morgan if we were going to get to 169 and see if it held. Remember, Jamie Dimon is selling shares still. Okay, he's selling a part of his stake in JP Morgan. So that should help us. Anytime we get a nice big pop, Jamie Dimon might be right there to pay us, guys. So I'm going to be still watching 169 on JP Morgan. This thing has just been really nice and volatile. Look at these moves, guys. Like, this is becoming a stock that I'm enjoying trading. And that's about that is the key to trading, is finding something that is that just feels like it comes second nature, right? That you find something. I don't care if it gets boring. Your job's to make money. Boring is good. Okay? If you're making money, boring is good. If you're making that money, or if you're making that number bigger, which is your job, boring is good. All right? Don't fall in love with the stock. You can fall in love with trading a stock, but don't fall in love with a stock. So 169 I'm watching. We're either going to break it and we're hitting 165, all right, or we're going to hold and make another attempt back to 172. All right? So it's either this, all right? It's either that or this. You let me know, Jamie. Let me know, Jamie Dimon. He maybe they've been, sounds like they're trying to get him to run the next presidency for president. So that's JP Morgan. All right, Boeing. Let's talk about Boeing. Man, I missed it. It finally went down. So this is a nice lesson here. You came up, gap filled it. We took the long on this trade here. We were long this gap fill. This also was a really nice trade. There was a lesson in that itself about why it paid so well. That I just overlooked. All right, so you rejected the 200-day moving average. I want to see if we can get another bounce. There's that meeting tomorrow. Let's see if this thing tries to bounce. All right, it's back to the 200-day moving average, and then we look to see if we can get short off anything he says. Now listen, if you're trading Boeing, remember the CEO is meeting with the senators tomorrow, so this thing will move. The implied volatility will be up. The IV will be up, okay? So if you guys are new and kind of don't really know what you're doing, ask questions. Okay, I can only tell you like my opinion. So Boeing, I'm going to be trading Boeing tomorrow. I'm going to look for the downside and see if we can get a double bottom here and even crack 200. I want to see if we can get this thing back to 200. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to get Boeing back down to this range. And now that I know we've gotten a nice rejection at the top end of the range, I am shorting bounces. I'm shorting bounces on Boeing. We can go to a 15-minute chart. You have a flat top. You have like a bit of a, not really. All right, look how it stuck this level here that I have. Look at that. Oh my goodness, sorry. It stuck the level there, guys. So 212's pretty a key area. You can keep an eye on this level that I have here, this dotted line. This dotted line is because of the daily chart and probably a gap fill. And look what it did after hours. That line's been there. If you go back through all the live streams, I've had this level there. Look at that level. When you start seeing this, if you guys are new, I'm not saying you guys are new, but when you start seeing when stocks do this, just know you're seeing things correctly. Okay, you're seeing things correctly. You should feel good about that. If you're struggling, pay attention to the chart. Is the chart hitting your levels? Are you able to identify price action? All right, you able to identify. So that's Boeing. Short and sweet. You will have some support down here at 205, 206, 204. 204 to 206, there will be support, I promise. You're going to run into a little bit of support down here at 208. But this 208 is a level where I would take profit in front of it. I would take 25% of that position off, depending on where I got in. If I'm in up here at 213, there's other things to trading, right, that I don't talk about, right? You need to know what the ATR is. You need to know what the ATR of a stock is. And what is the ATR? It's the average true range. Okay, and there's two different types of ATR in my book. There's a volatile ATR and a regular low volume trading ATR. So high to low, it moves $4 to $5 in a day from high to low, roughly, depending on the volume. If it has news or no news, did it come out of earnings? you know, like I always use the example of Tesla. Tesla would usually can give you 12 to 14 dollars, 10 to 14 dollars on a nice volatile day. It could give you 15 to 18 dollars, right? It's done that, but for the most part, it will give you. I can count on $12, it being about what it does, versus a non-volatile day where it'll move $4 to $6. Okay, 4 on the low end, 6.5 to 7 on the high end. So you need to know those things. That way, when you're taking your position, you can kind of understand, all right, where are we to that level? Are we 5 points away? And that's a full ATR? Okay, there's a lot that goes into this stuff. But over time, it'll come naturally. All right, I know you guys don't see me do it a lot, but I do it. I want to know what the ATR is of the last 2 weeks. It's an average of $5. All right, good deal. I know what I need to do. I'm getting short here on a bounce back, and I know I got at least $3.50. Okay, off of that 200-day rejection, right? I got a gap below me at $6. Chances are it's going to get a little increase in volume, and we're going to not only do that 5, but we'll probably do 6. All right, so there's a lot of stuff that goes on that I don't say out loud. All right, you guys can do this, and again, I'm working on something. If you guys, all I ask is just hit that like button for us and subscribe. And again, if you guys have questions, throw them in the chat. Any tickers or anything you guys want to cover. And again, I hope you guys are all doing well. So that's that, right? Boeing, Senators, Netflix, that's going to be on the list. Whatever other news that we get when we open up. Pre-market tomorrow. That's the other thing. Pre-market. Oh, DWAC. DWAC and save. Let's do it. Save. All right, so like I told members earlier, all right, I said, guys, give this thing, like a short squeeze takes time. A short squeeze takes time because what happens is everybody you had short here, a lot of them covered. And what happens is a lot of new people get short when they think that the stock is overdone, right? So you get a second round of shorts and then it pulls back. You guys remember HKD? Do you remember all the stocks that we had about a year ago that were just ripping galore? We were going from $10, $15 to $600, $800. HKD, $12 to $2,000. So what happens is you get these shorts start to enter back in. And that's why pullbacks are good if you want a short squeeze. If you want a short squeeze, you want to bring in more shorts, and then the buyers hold that level, wherever that level is, so that you get that extra gamma, right? You get that second short squeeze, and then it's a feeding frenzy. It feeds upon itself is what happens. My little girl wants to go. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so that is safe. All right, what I'm going to watch for, listen, I would like to get an entry down here. I want an entry at $6 to like $5.70. If it gives it to me. Now, it may not give it to me. You have a major resistance level up here. If 750 breaks, that doesn't mean that that this thing is not going to 10 or going, let's just say making a recovery, right? What is the recovery? The recovery is anything up at the 50-day moving average, like 10, like I'm just going to say like $13 to $14, that 50-day moving average. All right. In my book, anything over like $12, $11, $12, you know, psychological 10, you know, the heck with it. Call it $10. I want to see it if 750 holds. If it doesn't hold and volume slows up and it's just kind of just, consolidating. Okay. If it's just consolidating, right. And even if it goes to a downtrend for 2 days, right. Just something like this, I promise you're going to have buyers here. I promise. 656 and $6. Chris, my guy, how you been, buddy? I hope all is well. I haven't seen you in a couple days or talked to you. I hope all is well, my friend. And again, real quick, other than hitting that like, I appreciate all of you guys, and subscribe. Shout out to send a prayer to those 2 Marines / Navy SEAL members that lost their lives out in the ocean. It's very sad. It's just, you know, especially when the other person jumps in after him to save them, and now they're both missing at sea. Like, it's just a terrible way to go serving your country. But, so be fortunate. Be fortunate that we're even here and we have markets, that we're even alive, all those good things. I just want to reiterate that. So all these short squeezing and things like that, that's second to, just being alive and being free, right? Not being, having to walk around with, a rifle and not knowing if you're not going to make it home for dinner or have dinner because you're no longer here. So prayers to those two and their friends and family and the unit that they served with. So 750, don't get discouraged if 750 doesn't hold, guys. Just let it pull back, let it breathe. Because what happens is if we start to like hold 750 or $7, let it jump up a little bit, put in a lower high. I want to see it put in a lower high, and I want to see it pull back. What's that going to do? That's going to bring in more shorts. That's going to bring in more people to short. And then when we get down here to $6, that $6 level, this whole area down here, that's when we bite. That's when we bite. I told you guys I'm going to be patient with this trade because I know how long it takes for these things to happen, right? Like, it's just the amount of money that it takes to move. Think about the market cap, okay? If you got a market cap, 600 million, or how about this? You have 22 million outstanding shares, right? 22 million times that by 8.5. How much money is that? All right, that's how much it's. You need to really. It's like moving a boulder versus other stocks that have like a float. There are companies, guys, that have 10 million float, right? It only takes a handful of traders, right? Each trader is a candle where they can just take over the whole company and send it higher. It happens. It happens every day. All right. Now, a stock like Spirit Airlines, I don't know how much it has, but I'm going to use 20 million or 40 million. It's probably like 40 or 50, to be honest. It could be 100. I don't know. But you know what? 100 million doesn't. That sounds about right. Why do I say that? Because just the other day at $6, if their market cap was 660 million, that means that they have 100 million shares outstanding and the stock is $6. That would be a 600 million market cap. They have 100,000 shares out there. 100,000 shares. Wait, no, 10 million, 1 million. Yeah, what would that be? I'm getting confused. It's late with the math, but you guys you picking up what I'm putting down, right? There's what is that? What would that be? 60 million shares, and then at $6, that would be 6 million shares. No, 6 or 60. I don't know. Either way, it doesn't matter. That's your market cap, right? How do you want to come up with a market cap? You can go to Google, or the market cap times outstanding shares is the market cap. Okay? Share price times that by outstanding shares. That's outstanding shares. That's your market cap. Sorry. I'm trying to go quick. So, man, take that. Yep. Whatever you got to do, Chris. Whatever you got to do, buddy. We've been on a roll here this first 3 weeks of the year. 3 green trades this week, 1 break even today. 2 trades today, 1 green, 1 break even. Small 20% gain. Anyway, so again, don't get discouraged if 750 breaks. Let it breathe, right? Let it bounce off of $7 area. Let it come up, put in a lower high, grab more shorts, and let's get this thing down. I was going to say GME. Do you know how long I traded that? I traded at $8. It was like $6, $8 back in October, November before that started in January, February. All right. I traded it in October at 8 roughly. I traded it in November at 12 to 18. Right. So these short squeezes can take time. Think about Carvana. That kind of never came, but because it takes so much capital, some people die out and just forget about it and trade something else. And so give it time. Let it consolidate. Let it pull back. Bring in more shorts. If we can get this thing higher. Hopefully Dave Portnoy even knows that. Right? He should be like, yes, come on, shorts. Come on in because I want to squeeze the living crap out of you. Remember, there is a winner and a loser in the market. So if you get a short squeeze going, just say a prayer for the person on the other side of that trade that is having to cover their position because you're taking their money. This is why there's a bell. If you guys don't know, that's why there's a bell at the beginning and the end. Because it's a fight. It is a round between the Bulls and the Bears. Me versus you. Who's going to win? Okay? I want you guys to be winners. Stay focused. Get your level. What's resistance, right? Okay, that's where the sellers are. Here's a chart. I'm going to make this so easy for you. Where would I sell? Right there. Where am I buying? Right there. That's it. Maybe you could start buying here. It doesn't hold? Okay, I'm out. Small loss. So I think a lot of people get, and that's why I have been doing really good this year, is because I've been picking the right stocks. I've been just keeping it simple. Keep it simple. Let's go to DWAC. DWAC did exactly what we, pretty much it stuck to the levels that we gave out yesterday. I did not trade this today. I looked at it. It was a bit late. Look at that. Pretty much right to our levels, guys. It pulls back and then bang. I said this morning when this thing was pulling back, I was looking for that area to hold, and it ended up holding. I just forgot about this thing. Kind of forgot about it. Just like save. I gotta set alerts for them so that I get aware. Let's so we have Netflix. Let's see how Disney acted in accordance to Netflix. Look at Disney going higher. All right, I've been watching Disney since December for about 4 to 5 weeks. So this is a nice pullback in the resistance. I think it fades out. I do. I think it fades out right about here. All right, 94.45, 94.50. We'll see. We'll see if it can hold on. Maybe it gaps up and then it sells off to go higher. But I was looking for Disney to start making this move because it's got a bull flag here. It's got a really decent bull flag here. Maybe this is so what I was trying to do, because it was early, right? And I was trying to get the bull flag on this. I want to hurry up because I don't want to make this forever. See, it just doesn't jive, in my opinion. It doesn't jive. Let me try to take off pre-market. All right. And maybe there's something there, but there's not really. It's just ugly. It's just ugly. Kind of like me, right? Just ugly. But we're here, right? It's better to be here and ugly than to not be here at all. I guess that's what they say. I don't know. All right, so Disney, you can see how they started to, there is a sympathy play there, and I've been trying to stress that to you guys, is watch for the sympathies. The volatility can be down a little bit, where you can just play the same trade with less volatility and get the same move. All right, get the same move. All right, so that's that. We can cover some of big tech real quick. We'll see where we open up tomorrow. Apple's been very strong. Every time you think there's going to be a pullback, you need to be buying the pullback. All right. We were long this name a few times. We were long this thing a few times. Our target was 195. It got there in a damn day. So you're coming into a bit of resistance right here. So if tomorrow or whenever, if Apple holds this level, guys, I'm going to get long Apple and look to take that to 198. I promise you, I will. Come join us. You can see me do it live. All right. I mean, really, that's about all I got. We can look at Nvidia. All right, it's making highs. The market's still making highs. So is earnings going to bring us down? Oh, this is what I wanted to say. I don't want to forget this. All right. The amount of layoffs and restructuring that these companies are coming out with day after day, and we've only gotten a piece of the pie. All right. I feel like this labor market is probably going to be the reason, because the market's going to want to see the labor market soften, but the labor market's not going to want to see the labor market start to cut itself in half in a matter of 3 to 6 months. Okay, then it's going to get concerned about recessionary risks. All right, so I think the next, whether it's downside, whatever you want to call it, is going to be the fear of a recession. I feel like the labor market's going to soften a bit, right? They're going to say, it's going to seem like it's a lot, and that we don't know. Does it keep going? Are we in a recession? Are we not? GDP still coming in okay. Fed cuts rates. I think that's our pullback. I'm going to be honest. I think job cuts, and possibly even if there's something with China that starts to, come over to this side of the land. I think that's where we get our gap fills. We still have a lot of gaps to fill. All right. Guys, if you guys do not buy down here, now again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I'm doing. I will not let this market get back down to the low 400s and not buy something, because I promise you will never see that price again. And if you do, money is you're not even worried about money. So it'll probably just stay where it's at because nobody will be trading. You're not going to need money. You're going to be worrying about getting canned food and how you're going to survive because the comet's coming. Something. All right? So if it's ever that bad, then currency is not an issue or is not of relevance. All right? Art Cashin on CNBC is the oldest floor trader at the NASDAQ. He comes on from time to time. His name's Art Cashin, A-R-K Cashin. Look him up if you like. I learned that from him. He has said it. If it's ever that bad, money is not, you won't be worried about money if things ever get that bad. So if we get distressed asset prices again, that'll probably be your last best buying opportunity for the force, for probably another generation or two. I mean, not a generation or two, but for the next maybe 10, 15 years or so. But even at then, those lows will be all-time highs here. Okay, so you'll never see these prices. You may never see these prices again. If we get it, I'm buying, guys. I don't care if it's solid companies, something. All right, because you'll never see it again. And in 4 or 5 years from now, you're going to kick yourself in the ass that you didn't buy it. All right, I love you guys. You guys have a great night. There was actually a lot of gold being dropped a little bit earlier with those gamma talking Delta and all that stuff. I appreciate you guys for being here. If you could just do us a solid, if you haven't done so, hit the like button. I can't see the likes right now because I don't have the screen up. I'm sure you guys did. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys get some sleep. Get ready for the week is pretty much starting now. There's opportunity everywhere. Stay focused. Let it pull into your level. If it doesn't get to your level, you're not taking it. Why is that? Because we will. That's how you deviate from your plan. Let it go. Don't say I could have gotten 100%, 150%. If it pulls into the level and it gets going, you want to wait, right? It pulled into that 200 level and you want to get long. Okay, cool. Everything that I see is matching up. If you need to let it go a little bit and start to see that increase in volume and you have to pay up, okay, that's fine. If you have the risk to reward on top of that, let me also say that. Make sure you have the risk to reward as in the juice is worth the squeeze. Don't just have $1, like $2, and you're bumping up into resistance and you plan on going long, right? Worry about the real move. Get time. Don't sacrifice price for time. I always talk about that. You trade the markets, don't let the markets trade you, because you're expecting, especially on a Wednesday, expecting a stock to move however far your contracts are out in 2 to 3 days. They don't just go straight up and straight down. They pull back. So expect if you do take a position, you enter it correctly. It goes to the minor levels. Have your main target. Know your ATR. If a stock if it moves $4 or $5 a day and you get the low, an area around the low, and you got resistance $4 to $5 above you, you're starting to, that's just the beginning of putting the pieces together to a nice green trade. Netflix is going to be on the watch list. Boeing with the guy at the CEO at the senator's office, and there's going to be more. We'll wake up to some. Oh, solar stocks too. Solar stocks this morning also took off or had ENPH. So I want to put these on my list because I think they had a day today. I think. So like right here, here's the trade idea for tomorrow. Look at ENPH. It rejected the 150-day moving average, the 100 moving average, the 50-day moving average, and look what it did today. It gapped up above it, pulled back into it, and held them. They could have easily closed this thing, right? They could have easily closed it down here, but they didn't. It held. All right, and what else do I see? What else do we see here? It's a little bit of volume, but it's still a low volume. We'll see. See where rates are, all that fun stuff. So that could be an idea, and I'm writing it down right now. ENPH and HD had downgrade yesterday. ENPH. So you have the bounce back for Home Depot to get short. You have ENPH. Again, if the markets are going up, make sure whatever you're shorting, if you're shorting, definitely has weakness. Whether it has news or so. Like, don't that's why I got worried with JP Morgan. JP Morgan's at highs and the market's pulling back, and I'm like, I don't want to short something that has relative strength. Okay, if it ended up working out, but what if it didn't work out? And I wasted my time. Love you guys. You guys have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you guys right in the morning.